Aye, aye, aye. There we are now. That's Tala Rugby. Oh, welcome. That one there is a Tala Rugby football pitch. Or you just got the sign there. Look into that. Aye, aye, aye. Let's just head down to the org. No, a bit later than normal, lads. But sure. Obviously, it's a bit overcast. It stopped raining anyway, which is good. It was a little bit on the chilly side, which in itself is good as well. We don't want it to be too warm. Let me see. For adjust these buttons. Let me see. Is that a better setting? I still need to work out with these three options there. Oh no, I don't like that one. Go back to this one. No. This one. Is that better? Oh Jesus, no, that's worse. Sorry, I'm just playing with the just playing. Oh no, hang on. Just playing with me buttons. Okay, I think that's a that's probably the best setting. Which I think was probably the first one I had on Butcher. There you go. Yeah, I have it on these out. Let me just. A bit of roadworks going on here still. That there will eventually be the cycle path again. There's a digger we could take for a joyride if we were so inclined. Park strength. But that's not. Oh, they just have a poster up. Trying to find out which who owns this field here. Because Clondarkin Park and Timon Park are a bit away from here. I know they're the part of the same area, but hey Jen, how are you? Can't even remember. Did I say hey? I didn't say hey. Hey Cathy. Didn't say hi to Cathy there either. That's a Park Fit and Park Yoga. And then Hollister New Way. Griffin Valley Park, Corky Park, Dobber Valley Park. The park we go into, I would imagine, is that Dobber Valley Park. Active Chickens. Active South Dublin. Have a look into that later, I'm curious. I just have a little bit of a further walk than normal. I miss me bus stop, lads. So I'm at a slightly further away bus stop. I wasn't paid enough, wasn't exactly paid enough attention, but it's no harm, it gives us a bit of a different view. You should get a better picture of the Dublin Mountains there in the background. That's that one, that's Fairhouse Community College there. Now the good thing is when you do miss your bus stop, the bus stops are so close together you only have maybe 2, 3, 4, max 5 minutes of an extra walk to do anyway. Which is also why the buses are so goddamn slow, because of all the bus stops. But sure, we got here anyway, which is the main thing. This sort of gives us a slightly different view of the place, which is no harm in itself. And with more mountains over this side as well. Surrounded by the Dublin Mountains there in the background. Just zoom back out again. The birds are noisy today. I don't know, can you hear them? Definitely noisy. Okay, so we were Farnham straight ahead, as is Knocklin. And then up that way then is Ballycullen Drive. Predominantly in a residential area, so we're surrounded by housing estates. Oh, geez, I could have asked him for a lift. He could have given me a piggyback down, saved me a bit of walking. So not exactly somewhere you'd expect to find a cult or Scientology and the size of the building that they do have. Yeah, so this is about where normally, this is where I should have gotten now. So we just have the org is just around the next corner there. There's no harm in getting a few extra steps. Houses are absolutely lovely. Let's see Google see if those houses are worth. I'd say the well out of my price bracket anyway. But I'm not sure I'd be moving beside a cult anyway, that's for sure. Hey Kia, how are you? Ah, from France. Oh, how's it going? We're just here, we're approaching the Dublin org of the cult of Scientology. We're in Dublin, Ireland. And that's what it's 11 minutes past 4 away, Sunday afternoon. Not bad here, it's 18, 19 degrees here. It was raining earlier, so it's nice and cool. This is more kind of the weather I love. Not into the sunny weather whatsoever. Okay, so that estate there is called Dobber Valley Park. Interesting, okay. I'll have to get me bearings a bit. I wonder what they're doing over there. And that's a construction company in there, though. Or are they building something? Maybe the house is getting some renovations. But Jesus, I won't need a portal. I won't need to use the bushes later, lads. Look at this, there's a portal in. That must be for the lads doing the roadworks up yonder. That's handy now. Wonder if they got anything going on down here today. I don't think they do. At least I couldn't find anything going on today. So I'm expecting to see it's going to be pretty empty down there, apart from a few staff members and maybe a few unfortunate souls wandering in to do their horses. Apparently, there's a bit of spare land there, but you could build another half a dozen houses in there anyway. This is what I never understand with these housing developments. They always seem to have a bit of land left over that they just fence off like that. Where you think, could you not have built another 6 houses and you utilise every bit of space? Oh, there's the green netting up. Interesting. Interesting, lads. Green netting is most definitely up. Makes me very curious what they have going on then. Or what is that they don't want us to see? More to the point. Very curious. We'll see what we can see anyway from this side of things anyway. That cart is always there. 067467. I'm not quite sure why you would park it there. Like if you're doing other business around, you wouldn't park it there, you'd be parking it elsewhere, I would have thought. It is just outside the coast. Okay, there's something maybe going on. They're fuller than well, not fuller, but they're definitely more cars than normal. Or have they, or that just, because the car park is so small, does it just look like it's fuller than normal? Maybe it just looks that way. Get a better view up this way. Maybe there's not that many more than normal now. Hang on. Where that big mound of dirt is in the way for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's 11 cars in the front car park anyway. Let me get a better look. Yeah, they have more than normal, because normally they just be 3 to 5 in this front car park. Considering it's 4:15. It's a good sign though, whatever they're doing in there, they don't have much return out. That's 1, 2, 4, 6, 7, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14. That's 14 cars I make in the front car park. And like, this is the curious thing here with the York there is the only way in is just where we came there, where we peered down. And then you have to walk all the way down that way to get to the main entrance. The whole complex here is fenced off with this, goes all the way around. They just have the one way in, one way out. So definitely not designed for people to wander in out of curiosity, or for someone to leave, make a quick exit if they needed to. Definitely designed to keep people in. Let's see, can we get a view of the back car? That was what, 14 cars you said in the front, which normally we'd only see 3 to 5 cars in there of a normal Sunday afternoon. This is my eyes here. My eyes are able to see through the hedge better than what the. Sorry there, lads. This camera lens is useless for seeing through the hedge. Don't see much occurring in there. That's what we can see further down. Only a few cars in the back car park. It is curious why they have the green mesh up. I was curious. Is that because I was back out here last week? Very curious indeed. As I thought them unawares last Saturday, is that it then the green mesh up? Yeah, there's. Yeah, they have, which is curious, Catty. They're definitely based on the they have the 14 cars in the front car park, where they normally have 3 to 5. And if they had if they'd rented out their premises to one of the local groups, we'd expect to see a lot more cars in there. So and I didn't see anything when I searched online. So I am curious then, are they doing a cult specific event in there for members? Like, are we mid-August? So apart from the increase in cars, though, nothing looks, and the green mesh there, nothing looks particularly amiss. There's nothing, I can't see anything that would indicate why they would have more. But then, are we 4:20? I know I'm coming out later than normal, but normally, like I'd normally be out here between 2:30, but I'd normally still be here at 4:20, and we don't all of a sudden see a sudden influx of cars. So I do wonder people coming in to do courses. Like we are still in the summer holidays here. You know what I mean? Well, I guess they don't see me and my high vis out here. There's me and my high vis, and I have me full hat on me today. I don't have my Stop the Abuses high vis t-shirt on me at the moment because it is that bit cooler. I decided I'd put on me light rain jacket because it's handy for the sleeves, keep the wind off a bit. Let me plonk you guys in for a bit. I'll put up my signs anyway. Oh shoot, I've lost my bearings now. We have the green mesh up. Where did we find the best place for us to put the signage? Kind of in the middle is the best place. So I still be tempted because we don't particularly care what they're doing inside in the cult. But I do think here is probably still just trying to work out from the point of view of visibility of the road. I still think here is probably the best spot to be putting up our signage. So we're sort of in the middle of cars coming this way and that way. And we're in between the two trees there, so we're not getting blocked by the trees. So I'm thinking this is probably the best spot we could pick. Hey Mike, good to see you mate. It's a bit on the chilly side here, which is good. It was raining earlier, little bit overcast. But this is more Irish's kind of weather. Who wants to be sweating? Who wants to be sweating every second of every day? Do you know what I mean? You want to be where it's supposed to cool enough, where you might need a light jacket, something with sleeves on, and then if it does rain, it'll keep the rain off. So this will be more my kind of a day, more of an autumn day than a summer day, I guess. So I'm going to pluck you guys down while I put me signage. There we go. We lost my cap there. Let's find. Oh, hang on. Let's play some music. Let's get the music out, and we'll find Roger. Here we go. We have Roger. And Roger is losing his headband. Yeah, young Roger. Let's see, can you guys see young Roger there? Oh dear God, what am I doing? One of these days I'll work out how to use these devices. One of these days. I know I keep saying that. Let's put on some music there. Music. Oh, this one will do. It'll do nicely. Now, oh, what have I done wrong? Hang on, maybe something else. Ah. Oh, there we go, that's better. What we need? Very quickly up open posters. Now, I shouldn't take me as long as it did last week. Last week I was still working it out. So in theory, I should be much quicker this week. In theory, that is now. I know I need to use a lot more tack than I think I need to. I need to use double the quantity and then double it again. And then maybe have enough to fit into all the crevices here. I'm supposed to warm it up a bit first. Let's see that work. I actually do like that. If I put the tacky on lower down. Now I could have them closer to the wall. That should reduce the wind interference in theory. Oh, I wish I paid more attention in physics class. Because I'm sure this is something to do with aerodynamics or some sort of a thing. Yes, we'll go with the trial and error. Try slightly different things and see which seems to be more effective. I actually think that's probably good enough. Hope Roger is behaving himself there. Make sure I don't put these up upside down. And just put them a bit soft to my hands first. Okay, that's 3 done. That's 5 done. On to the 6th one already. Let me just soften the tacky first. There we go. Yeah. I'll put further up on this one. Look at that. Yeah, it's better. It's so much better. This wall was nice and smooth instead of so jaggedy. Sure. You can do. There's a lot more what's available. Okay. On to number 7. I realise I'm not the most talkative when I'm distracted. Just making sure that I stick these signs on properly. I know us ladies are supposed to multitask, but sometimes you need to divert all your available energy to do specific tasks properly, if you know what I mean. number 8. What way should I do? Yeah, straight away. Maybe lower down on that one. Put that up there. Yeah. Not sure if I'd be miscounting these signs here at all, because on number 8 now. Not sure that I do 7 twice. Did I skip 6 and go do 7 twice? I wonder. I don't know. Sure, never mind. It's not fully on the ground. I think we should just that one. I think it's better when the legs are fully on the ground. At least I think so anyway. Bit of paper there. Make sure I don't leave any rubbish behind me. To number 9. Very curious indeed why they have the. You're not sure you. Oh no, you guys should be hear the music. I think. Because my phone is down there, my mic on me. So in theory, there shouldn't be any change to this volume of the music. I don't think. I don't know, but I don't know quite how the mic works. And then with the music, or is it all going through my mic? I absolutely don't know. So I am curious to know. As the volume of the music dropped, the further I get away from me gimbal. And that's the last one now. Oh, okay, now let's. Really would consider putting on the t-shirt as well. I might do that. It's not exactly warm today. Let me see. Just quickly lay out the weights. I do think the weights do make that bit of a difference. Oh, Roger signs. Roger signs. Oh, we got some basic little beeps there. Just tidy up everything now. Now, there we go. Where do you want to put Roger? Move me back here, I think. Let's move Roger up. Give him my signs. There we go, Roger. Roger, go off to there. Sorry about that there, lads. Now we have our signage up. Oh, do you like Roger's colours? I tried a few different colours, they didn't work, and then I came across these ones. So we have the deep purple with the lime green, kind of worked out nicely. And he has himself a nice little pocket there. Nice little pocket, so he does. Oh, hey, Antics, how are you? Aki has gone to Sleepy Boys. Oh, hey, Donna, how are you? I do want to make it is indeed, Donna. The Bluetooth speaker is Anchor. Anchor is always my go-to brand when it comes to anything electronic wise. My headphones are Anchor. All of my iPhone cables are Anchor. My battery pack is Anchor. Anchor is the best, by far the best brand I've ever tried. They have the 43 people there in the grounds of the org. I'm not sure, can we behind the bushes there? We do have 3 people in normal civvy clothes. Hey, Paralyze. Can't really tell. Can't really tell through the bush what nationality they are. They are in their civvy, so I wonder are they just here for horses. Yeah, yeah, it's mostly JoJo's music. We have a few Larry tunes in there. I think we have a few of Dan Walk's LA tunes and a few Gigi's tunes in there as well. Yeah, so the green screen up here, but they have no community events on, so I don't know why they're doing a cult specific event. Because we did count on our way and we did count, we do have 14 cars in the front car park. And there are 3 or 4 in the back, whereas normally we'd only see between 3 and 5 in the front car park. So they definitely seem to have a little bit more activity in the cult today than they normally have on a Sunday. So I do wonder, is that the idea of the green screen that we can't see in, or more to the point that they can't see out? That on the fair I'd be coming up today with my high vis. I have my high vis cult cap on me and have my high vis light wind jacket on because it was raining earlier, has stopped. But is that bit on the chilly side, which is more, this is kind of perfect, my kind of weather. Which is also explains why there hasn't been much footfall here since I've been, how long I've been out here? 36 minutes at this stage. There hasn't been that much footfall, which makes sense when the weather isn't as nice. Oh, we have our We have our Scientology is a dangerous cult sign, and we have. I know one of them is Polish. We have Polish, Russian, Romanian, Ukrainian. We have Hindi. We have Chinese. I think we have something else. Do we have? I think we have Polish as well. I just forgotten. It's so long since I made this site, and I've forgotten which languages I used. Because I did ask Google for the most popular non-English speaking languages are here. Since they are proactively targeting the immigrant community here, where English shouldn't be the first language. So hopefully now they'll see my sign, spot their language on it, and that will cause them pause for thought that they look into it a little bit. And then on the bottom of the sign there, I have some things for people to Google is Operation Snow White, Operation Freakout, Lisa McPherson, Kyle Brennan, Philip Gale, Kaja Bala, Ellie Perkins, Flo Barnett, and Noah Lockett. Absolutely, Kathy. I would rather it's on the chilly side than too hot. So exactly, you can put on a light rain jacket. Let me just put on me. Let me put on the main. Actually, I don't need to go near the speaker. I have it here. Hey, Hans, Christian, how are you? Let me just switch the playlist here. I'll play this one in random order. You never know what we're going to get here. These are mostly Jojo Bananas tunes. And three people I've seen earlier heading out to the car park. They are in civvy clothes. I'd say based on the ages of them, I'd hazard to guess that they were here, that they're Scientology members doing courses. But it's curious, they do have the green mesh back up. When they had 14 cars in the front car park, which is more than normal. You'd have 3 to 5 in it. So that's 9 or 10 odd more than they'd normally have. Which in itself isn't great numbers, but it's more than we normally see here. I don't really see anything different. From the limited view I can see through the hedge and into the yard, I don't see anything different than normal. Like, I will say one thing, that massive picture of LRH, that's the one thing you do see crystal clear is his ugly mug. Like, it's not exactly inviting. You have the green mesh on down there. You have all fenced off all the way around until you get beyond the bus stop shelter there. Down, and then you have to walk down and all the way around to get in through the front door, which is all the way over there. You know what I mean? Not exactly very, very inviting. Like, I mean, far away of saying they don't welcome football, that they'd want you to arrive in advance. This is a new crowd, hang on. No, I recognise that kid. That's the kid with glasses. His parents belong to the Sword. And I think his parents are staff members. He's definitely double to be around a lot on a Sunday, that kid with glasses. And then we have our, there's that car leaving with the 3 people. So we're heading that way into town. Interesting. That's good. Hang on, I'll just stand out here, make sure I'm not blocking the signage. Nah, I don't think they gave the signs at a glance. Probably part of the training. You don't want to be reading any of my messages. At least you go blind or something. Or more to the point, you have to do extra auditing sessions. So we have on this one, we have warning, cult of Scientology, and these are their most common. Yeah, the Dianetics, which is the book behind what Scientology is based on. And we have all of their offshoots of that they tried to flog under the disguise of that they're not Scientology, even though they are. We have the horrific Narcanon, which is their drug rehabilitation program. We have the vulture ministers. We have Way to Happiness. Absolutely, Ryoko, absolutely, Scientology is from the devil. Absolutely, it is. Definitely no good in Scientology, that's for sure. Absolutely. We have the Way to Happiness. We have the Obliged Scholastics, which I haven't seen any sign of that one here. We have the Drug Free World, Truth About Drugs, Fight for Kids, Crimenon. We have the United for Human Rights, Youth for Human Rights, Citizens Commission for Human Rights. So we do have them human rights groups. They do try to flock here. They do try to do the vulture ministers. They do try to do the drug free world and the truth about drugs campaigns. And I've also seen them try to do the Way to Happiness. And then they'll try and flog their oh, I say you have seen them at the leaflets in Belfast too, because they definitely do like to travel across all of Ireland, because York here is the only one in Ireland that covers both north and south. And there's even guys from Scotland come over to visit this org to do stuff here, which is curious. But then I guess with the Ryanair flights, it possibly is cheaper to come here than to go to Edinburgh, I guess, based on where you're living in Scotland. And then you'll see them with the Dianetics flyers. The Dianetics are typically the guys in the red shirts, where they'll invite you and I'll come in, watch a free film, do a free tour, do a free personality test. And that's their start of the hook to get you in. And then we have Philip Gale's story, which I highly recommend checking out. We have Noah Lockett's story as well there, another one worth checking out. We have Stephen Hassan's The Bike Model here. So I definitely recommend looking into Stephen Hassan's Bike Model. That'll give you a better idea and understanding of what a cult is. And more to the point, why it's not just what people believe, it's more what they do. Because you could say they can believe in what they want. Yeah, exactly. It's all about money. Fundamentally, it's a money property scam. But then it's littered with abuse as well. If it was only about money, you'd say, okay, fair enough. There's plenty of ways to get scammed. Absolutely. If you don't have the money, they enslave you in the sea, or absolutely they do. And the people inside here that we see in the little waste jackets, they're working for free. Well, I suppose using the word work is probably not the right term, because they're volunteers, which means they can work from 8 o'clock in the morning till 10 o'clock at the night, Monday to Sunday, if they want to, because they're volunteers. There's no protection here. There's no protection here for, I'm just keeping an eye, just seeing a little bit of movement inside the, yeah, she looks like she's in civvy clothes. It definitely looks like, definitely are doing something cult specific. They do look more to me like public members. Absolutely, I did. I made the signs to warn the public, because you will see it's not that much footfall today or traffic. Sometimes there'll be more. Others not. It'll be like this, but you do see people do slow down to read the signs as they go, and you'll see the cars slowing down to give a read as well. And that's what you want. We want to prompt people to stop and think. Maybe consider why someone like me might be out here in my high vis gear with my signage. Why would I be protesting against Scientology? Maybe look into a little bit more. Maybe we should be. Maybe there is something to be wary of with these cults. Maybe it's not just a money scam. I know they're a property scam as well, because when you think of it, like the size of that premises in there, the building itself is 750 square foot. I think the grounds that they have all now, because they do have some more grounds at the back that leads into the park. Like I think it's 3 or 4 acres in total is this property. And when you think about that in They bought this place in 2016 for 6 million, whereas 10 years before that, the place was worth 18 million. But because that coincided where we had a property crash, and the arse fell out of the property market, property took a nosedive, and the guys who was here before Scientology were a evangelist cult. Nice to get the beeps. They're an evangelist cult called something like Victory Fellowship, something community or something, or church or something like that. But they were based in Philippines. They started an offshoot here because we do have a large-ish Filipino community here. They went into receivership back in 2006, and then the cult bought them this place in 2016. So that was for 6 million, a place that had been worth 10 years before that 18 million. So that's a fucking bargain. And that is money that would have came from, actually, it would have came from the States somehow. So that's a nice profit, because you would think of, based on today's prices, the way property has rebounded in the area, this would be kind of classified more as a business. So this place is probably worth 40 million in today's money. So from 6 million to 14 million, that's a smart, shrewd investment, if you know what I mean. And it's just a pity your government didn't block them from buying this place. Now, it was a bit easier for the cult to set up shop here because of the evangelist cult being here before that. It was already classified for religious use. Even though we don't recognise Scientology as religion, we recognise them as a cult, and we did back then. And we knew the harm they caused because they had a Dianetics Centre in Abbey Street in Dublin City. And there's plenty of people who got entangled with that, came out and told the stories at the time and pleaded with the government, do not allow them set up here. And yet the government says, oh, don't worry about that. Oh, we can't stop them. They're entitled to set up shop here. What we will do is we'll spread public awareness. And yet there's no sign of them spreading the public awareness. The schools certainly don't teach about cults. And I'd be saying they should be not just Scientology, teach about cults in general. Teach a children's friendly version of something based on Stephen Hassan's work, combating cult control. I'll start again. Combating cult mind control by Dr. Stephen Hassan. And I know and I have seen there are child, psychologists in the UK that are cult aware, that have designed children friendly courses, teach them about cults. So there's no reason why it's not part of your school curriculum. Like, why are we letting people find out for themselves the hard way? When we know the danger of the cult, once you get entangled in the cult and you fall under the brainwashing, it's very hard to leave. Oh no, antics seem very weak, but at least I want to at least float a bit. Well, don't overdo things, antics, because we want you alive and well. We don't want you overdoing things. Absolutely, it is like the billionaire class of Tyne Hats paying the West off to deny a genocide. Absolutely it is. Oh, too many surfers today. Absolutely, antics. I see what you're saying there. So it must be nice weather where you are. Oh, you have a waterproof case. Oh, that's fantastic. Absolutely, they do. Lyoko, and I apologise if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. I do have a speech impediment that makes it difficult for me to speak properly at the best of times, but I do the best I can. They work as brainwash slaves for free. Absolutely, and because there are so little staff members, I shudder to think how much free time, if any, that these guys have in here. Like, at best, maybe they get half a day off on a Sunday or a Saturday. But like, when this cult is open, Monday to Sunday, it's open from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. at night. That doesn't give much. That doesn't give much leeway for time off. And then you wonder, are these poor souls, are they working from 8 to, you're working 8 in the morning till 10 at night. How many hours is that? 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. will be 12 hours. So that'll be 14 hours. Plus you're traveling to and out of where your accommodation is. So you could be away from your digs 16, 18 hours in the day. So you maybe get 6 hours sleep at best with no time to do anything else. How's it going? I'm not working away yet. Anyway at all, just to get the word out. Because particularly with the immigrants where English isn't their first language, they don't quite understand. This place calls themselves a church and a community centre. They don't quite understand anyone can call themselves that. It doesn't mean they are a authentic religion. But you know yourself that Scientology is a cult. Yeah. They do. They do. This is one of their campaigns to try and get people hooked into Scientology. But their idea of a drug-free world is you think it sounds good because they'll say, oh yeah, it's to get people off cocaine and discourage them from being on cocaine. But what they really mean is as you get more into it, they mean all drugs. So cancer drugs, seizure medication is bad. Every single drug on the market is bad. That's all. It's all a con by big pharma. You don't need any of that. If you do Scientology and do the courses and do their auditing, you'll be able to heal your mind. You heal your mind, you'll have no more physical ailments. Yeah. Thanks for chatting to us. So, that's a chappie stopping on his bicycle just to have a quick word. So yeah, he was interested in particular in the drug-free world, which that is good because it actually in itself shows that having the high vis signage does work because that pipped your man's curiosity, and that is exactly what we want. We want people to stop and think. We want to pip their interest, so they do look into it more. And he took a few pictures, which is good because that means he's going to share that now around on his social media, and it's another way of helping to spread the message. So it definitely does show it was worth the effort of me coming out here today. I was in two minds whether it was going to be worth my while with the way the weather was, and I had stuff on early. I couldn't get out any earlier. But you never know, just even one interaction like that sort of makes it more than worth my while to do the 5 hour round trip to get out here. Antics is saying, and that's just so they can do laundry and cleaning and a few errands on a Sunday. Absolutely antics. Absolutely. And then even the devious nature of the cult of Scientology and how they operate everywhere is even if you're not working in their from 8 till 12, 8 till a.m. to 10 p.m. every night. If you do say you're only in there 6 days a week, you can bet your bottom dollar you'll proactively encourage that seventh day to work for a Scientology owned company. They seem to have they have a bunch of cleaning companies. They seem to have vitamin companies as well, and you know that sort of a thing. I'm not sure what other companies they do have, but it's where they do proactively encourage their small business owners to take advantage of the cult members to give them work, where you'll be working flat out for your Scientology boss, being paid minimum wage, and then it'll be the cult will see that as oh Sheila, you now have $200 in your pocket. Or here you can do these advanced courses, I will give them to you for a discount. And by the way, that'll be $200. So whichever way you look at it, you can you can be pretty dang sure that these staff members in there don't have a penny to the names. And as to whether do they even have a roof, well, depends what you call a roof over your head. If you're living in Scientology birding, you're living in a bedroom with 6 or 8 other people, grown adults. Would you call that a roof over your head? Not really, because You have no real form of escape. You're working for Scientology full time. If you do happen to have any spare time, you're more than likely working for a Scientologist, living in Scientology premises, or you're renting a room off a Scientologist. So you have no, you're kind of snookered. You have no way really to escape. And then when you're an immigrant to yourself, do you have none? Do you have family members that aren't in the cult? Like realistically wise, if you do start to see through Scientology, is there anywhere for you to go, or is it a case of I might just put up with it the best I can and just hope that what these guys say about there being past and future lives is true? Maybe this is just one of the sucky lives, and one of my future 3 billion lives, maybe they might be better. Can you guys hear the music okay? I'm not sure if the music is. Is there a difference in the music as I get closer to the speaker? Actually, it would be because I'm holding the gimbal. So it doesn't matter about the mic. Forget about that. That was a stupid question. Hey, Sophia, how are you? Thanks very much, Jen, for asking everyone. Yeah, if you wouldn't mind liking and sharing the stream, and if you haven't already, a sub to me. Thanks very much. Thanks very much, Jennifer. Yeah, I tried to. No, it all helps you get the word out. Donna was saying when I was in GR9 or 10, that would have been practically 1979 or 80. Sorry? Is there music bothering you? There's nothing there that isn't true. If you do want something to read, I would suggest reading this book here, Dr. Stephen Hassan's Combating Cult Mind Control. Highly recommend you read this book. Yeah. Regardless of what you think about what I'm doing out here, I just recommend just have a read of the book and see what you think. Okay. Have a nice day. That was if you remember the 17-year-old kid in here that talked to me before, when he came up to the fence to talk to me to ask me about why was I saying that Scientology is a cult. I'm not sure if you could hear over the music, but he approached me and he said, will you stop this shit already? So which gave me a great opportunity. I said, there's no point me trying to explain to him why Scientology is a cult and why the stories I have here is true, or try and direct him towards, say, Jamie's book or Robert Down's book. That's why I decided, you know what, the best thing to do is to point him to this book here, to read Dr. Stephen Hassan's Combating Cult Mind Control book, and let him work it out for himself that way. That's probably the best approach. Just let him educate himself on a bit on how cults work, and maybe then he'd start to see that maybe Scientology is a cult. Because if you have a look here at the bite model, the way he has it broken down, say into behavior is controlling what a person does, who they see, where they go, what they wear, how they spend their time. So examples of that would be restricting access to outside information or people, enforcing rigid rules and rituals, financial dependency or micromanagement, punishing dissonant threats through social exclusions or threats. We know Scientology does all that. And then you have information, which is manipulating what information a person can access, believe, or share, which we know that's true because all they can do is believe in what LRH has written. Everyone else is telling lies. So examples of that would be using lies or propaganda to share perception, discouraging contact with outsiders or apostates, rewriting history or framing it selected, where we know LRH rewrote his history and the history of man itself, gaslighting, denying reality or evidence. We know the cult is all that. And then the third aspect of the bite model is thought, controlling how a person thinks, limiting critical thinking and making group doctrine the ultimate truth. We know they do that through LRH's writings. So examples is encouraging black and white, us versus them thinking, which we know they do that. Teaching loaded language to shut down questions, fake news or traitors, demanding absolute loyalty, which we know they do. They've invented their own, basically invented their own language with the way, the terminology that they come up with in Scientology. They do demand absolute loyalty. They do shame or punish independent thought. And then you have the emotional, which is manipulating emotions, which we know they do, which is why they have the Xeno eyes. They manipulate the emotions to keep someone dependent, fearful or guilty. So examples of that is creating irrational fears of outsiders, which they do, or punishment, which they do, inducing guilt or shame to reinforce obedience, they definitely do that. Labeling normal emotions like anger, guilt, or doubt as weaknesses or sins, we definitely know they do that. Using love bombing or withdrawal of affection to control behaviour, we know they do all that. So every single aspect of the bite model, the Scientology scores top marks on, and that's not a good thing. It's not a good thing to score 100% on their criteria for what is a harmful cult. That's not a good thing at all, lads. So I do hope that guy will read Dr. Stephen Hassan's book, Combating Cult Mind Control. I'm glad he did. I'm glad he did. He did stop to say to me, "Stop that shit now," or what was it? He said something like that, wasn't it? But there's perfect opportunity. So that was. I'm kind of feeling rather chuffed with myself for thinking quickly there that Stephen Hassan's book was their approach to go. I do hope he does read it. Ah, thanks very much, Jen. Yeah, if you could please like and share the stream so we can spread the word about Scientology and its spiritual practice. Absolutely, every little bit helps. You just never know that one person you might manage to that'll pass by, see my signs. The one person that might come across even this stream who might otherwise be thinking of, oh, sure, where's the harm? I'll go in, I'll do a free personality test or I'll do a free course. Where's the harm in that? They seem like nice people. What does show their communication skills aren't great though. Like if that's the best he could do to me, like not being able to have a proper conversation with someone to try and persuade them on why I might be wrong, why there might be some actual good in Scientology. Do you know what I mean? Because if I was out protesting against the Catholic Church and trying to say that the Bible was all wrong, I'd be able to sit down with that priest and he'd be able to tell me in his own words all the good that the church does do and why some people do find benefit in the teachings. And which you can see, I can see why there is, because there is a community spirit going to mass on a Sunday. Part of part of the Catholic religion is you go to mass on a Sunday. The service is maybe 40 minutes. That's the only commitment. And even at that, that's voluntary. Nobody comes knocking on your door if you're not in mass on a Sunday. And even when you do go there, it's for what, 40 minutes? You don't need to be handing over 10% of your income or 20%. Or with the Scientologists, the public members are probably given probably more like 50% of their income over. Where's I going with that? So you can see where some people might get a benefit going to Sunday Mass, the community spirit there. And part of our service is that you do turn around, you shake hands with people around you and you say, peace be with you. And it's not a nice way to bless someone. That you want peace be with you, meaning that you want them to leave the service and be be well and good in life. So that's as simple as that. So there's no just you can see the benefit of I'd say that practice, for example. Ah, it's a lovely doggy. Hello there. Oh no, he's scared. Oh no, worries. Ah, it's a lovely doggy. I thought maybe he wanted a little pet on the head, but he's He was scaredy custard. Ah, I love him, the hearts. Fuck all those hearts. Exactly, Dan. Until they're not nice people, they tend to. Because that kid, he started off with rather. That was an aggressive tone. And I know that he was probably practicing because he's been learning that in there in his TRs and his bull baiting and whatever they teach them. That they do teach them to be more on the aggressive side rather than just talking rationally. Like a parish priest wouldn't be dealing with you aggressively. He sits you down and he just talks to you. Tell me what is that bothers you? Why do you think the Catholic churches are harmful to us? I am and Priya saying hi. Oh, fantastic. Oh, have you seen Roger's new outfit? He made Roger a little new outfit there. Here's Roger's new outfit. So it's a deep purpley colour with a lime green trim on his trouser edges there and the little pocket. I think I got the shapings of it pretty much spot on. If anything, I'd maybe decrease a few more stitches just in under the arm there to make the fit that bit better. But I do want to make him a t-shirt to go underneath it, and maybe try and make him some boots or something to wear on his feet. Let me just put these things back up. Here we go. Put Roger back up. Yeah, it took me 4 attempts on his little dungarees to get the shapings right on it. Because he's a fucker of a shape, lads. I have to say. So much easier to make jumpers than to make clothes for Roger. So I'm almost there with working out the shapings for his footwear, and then I'll work out how to do his t-shirt. I'm kind of thinking if I start off on the arms and work from the top down, might be an easier to make his t-shirt than try and do it from bottom up. Hey Susan P, how are you? We're outside the Dublin org of the Cult of Scientology, and they have the green netting back up because they're feared of this one person. They don't want their cult members inside to look out and see me here in my high vis gear. Because obviously you can't miss me. I'm not just here, I'm obviously not a newspaper reporter. I'm obviously someone here that maybe is protesting against Scientology. Like, how fucking goofy is that putting up? A horrible green netting, which I would say they never paid for. That's not even a roll of netting that they got from the garden centre. Great getting the beat to the horns there. I would say that is them large bags that builders use to put the rubble in. I'd say that was used to hold builders rubble that they kept from when they did the renovations here, back when they opened in, was it 2017 they opened, wasn't it? Like, no expense spared at all, lads. They have absolutely zero money in the budget. Because, like, you could find something nice that you could put up against the fencing there to be hiding the folks inside from seeing me. Like, I mean, it wouldn't cost that much to get some proper paneling to put up temporarily. But regardless, I'll put another complaint to the Dublin City Council about the green mesh being up. What has the cult got to hide? The the wall here is public property, but the fence is not as part of. Hey Dave, the fence is part of cult property. This whatever you call that steel fence, that goes all the way around the entire property. It goes all the way around. So that is definitely, the fence is definitely cult. And that is a good question, Antics. That is something I'm going to keep complaining about. Why they have the green mesh here. Thanks very much, Dave, for liking and subbing. We're outside the Dublin org of the cult of Scientology here, and they have this green mesh up. From what I can see, there is no event on here today. They do have slightly more. What did we say? We could see 14 cars in the front car park, 3 in the back, 3 or 4 in the back, where they'd normally have 3 to 5 in the front car park. That's 9 or 10 cars more than normal. So that to me, yeah, maybe they do have something on from the point of view of something to do with the cult. There's 5:15 with some cars leaving. That's 3 cars that come out there now. I'm kind of curious what courses would they have been doing of a Sunday afternoon? Because they would be, I'm suspecting from the little bit I can see, I am suspecting that they're Scientologists popping in today to do courses. Which 14 cars in the front, 3 or 4 in the back isn't great numbers. Now it is more than they normally have out here at this stage of a Sunday. But it does have me curious. And then with the green netting there, now I know they put the green net mesh is mainly up so that people in there can't see me rather than us seeing what they're doing. Because, like, to be honest, even when the green mesh isn't there, we can see fuck all. Antics is saying, how would they be allowed to attach? It's yeah, it's guys, I know what you're saying, Antics. I know what you're saying. I'm trying to think of the right words for that now. There's another 2. There's another car coming out. That is curious. What would the cult have had on in there today that would needed all the members coming in at the same time? Because 14 cars been there, 9 or 10 more than normal. That would sound about right for the cult members that they'd have living in Ireland. I am curious. I am curious, but not curious enough to wander in through the doors. Scientology has banjacked my curiosity, Gene, that's for sure. Yeah, this is one of the curious things about the way boundary fences here work. But you know that now that I think about antics, I do need to look into it further to try and understand. How is it? Yeah, that is. Yeah, there's another car going out there. It's a Carlo car. Do you know what is curious? One thing I've noticed before when they've had, anytime they've had an event here, a Scientology event that is, all the cars are fucking old. All the cars are. You just hear those things. So see one lady in her staff uniform. Interesting. There's more people there. They do look like they're more. There's Sunday best gear on them. Do you know what I'm actually wondering, lads? Now that I think of it, some of the Scientologists, they do hold their special celebrations in this building, like say a fancy birthday party or a baby shower, that kind of a thing. So that's what I'm actually wondering now, based on the little bit I'm after seeing through the fence there. through the hedges. I'm thinking that the Scientologists themselves held a family event here. That's definitely what I'm thinking now. They're definitely in their Sunday best as opposed to just their normal everyday wear. And then the time at 5:20 when they be 5, they're about to be finishing off. Yeah, definitely a private function held by a Scientologist for their family and friends. David Hasselhoff that took the wall down. What am I missing? Hang on. I'm just going to switch my had the glare of the sun on me there. I'll just catch up and chat there. Antics are saying Mr. McCavish tore down that wall. Absolutely. Absolutely. With his bare hands with no help. Oh, it's a Ronald Reagan quote. Absolutely, Sophia. Curiosity does kill the bank account. Mr. Gorbachev tore down that wall. Oh, that was the that would be the Berlin Wall, wasn't it? No, it wouldn't be the Berlin Wall. Gorbachev was Russian, wasn't he? Oh, Gorbachev, so to tear down the Berlin Wall. Ah, yeah, okay, that makes sense. Sophia says, I thought it was David Hasselhoff that took the wall down. No, I think the only thing David Hasselhoff took down was his trousers. Antics are saying, no, he's too busy rescuing me at the beach. Oh, very good. There's another car has come out of the yard. Yeah, definitely now, based on the little snippets I have seen through the hedge today, I am sort of now thinking that I was a Scientologist holding a family function here. Oh, he was, wasn't he? He was a big music star in Germany. Isn't one of his daughters into the music as well? I'm not sure how she made it in the music industry. Sophia is saying the story of how the wall was actually taken down is fun. I'd have to look into that. I have a feeling I used to know that, but that would have been back in my school history days, which is, holy smokes, it would be 30 plus years ago, maybe even, yeah, about 36, 37 years ago that would have been. Oh, my to say no, the Hasselhoff was a sea creature, SpongeBob Road. Oh, jeez, could well be, yeah, absolutely. Oh, thanks very much. Cyclists are agreeing with me that Scientology is dangerous. Yeah, there's not many cars left there now, and a few more people leaving. Yeah, that definitely looked to me like it was more of a family event that someone rented out the space, told a family celebration here. So then that's going to be a cult member holding it here. I do wonder, do they pay to use their premises, or do they get it for free? With a caveat being that that's a way of trying to rope in their family members, friends, relatives. I wonder how would I find that out? Yeah, I'm curious. Definitely won't work my while being out here with my high vis signage, because if nothing else, you can't fail but spot me here in my high vis outfit. You can't fail but spot the high vis signage there. So regardless of what the cult is telling them, you can't help but know that maybe I'm anti-Scientology. So I do hope these guys will do some of their own independent research. And I do think me putting them signs that bit closer to the wall with the tacky that bit lower down. It's definitely making them more stable. Like, I'm not even sure that I need those weights there. Or can't help having the weights is surely giving them that little bit of extra support, I would imagine. Mad is saying, all I know is he took down a cheeseburger in his kitchen on the floor. He probably did that too. I'd say he took down a lot of things on his kitchen table floor. His kitchen table on his kitchen floor. Sophia saying, Germans have a love-hate relationship with Hasselhoff music. Yeah, I always thought that was the. I always thought it was the Germans that hated his music, but it was the Americans that loved his music. Now I could be wrong on that. I know I wasn't particularly a fan of Baywatch. I never got that the slow jog they do on the beach and the tight red costumes on the. I guess that was more for the blokes or the jiggy jiggy or the boobies on the beach. But I much preferred Hasselhoff in Night Rider. I used to love the car kit. Always wanted to. I always wanted to kick car when I grew up. Hey Diana, how are you? We're outside the Dublin Org of the cult of Scientology, where they have the green mesh back up because they're afraid of this place. They're afraid of people inside the court, inside the org. They're catching a glimpse of me. Like, like I would have. Now I know they are under the brainwashing somewhat, but me being me, I'd be more curious as to why the cult, aka my church, shall we say, is putting up the green mesh. That would cause me more. That would cause me to have more questions and see me out here protesting Scientology if I was a member. But then that's me using my logical thinking mind rather than being under the cult mind control. So I guess the cult will be telling you why the green mesh is up there, and you take it on blind faith. But even at that, I do wonder what do they tell the members in there about the green mesh, or me being out here that wouldn't make sense to them. Or are they just programmed that when they see the green mesh to ignore everything? Don't look beyond the green mesh, they'll catch a fucking flu or something. Sophia is saying, Gentry, yes, and you have dance drinking to Hasselhoff. Oh, is Sophia a Hoff fan? Interesting. Hey, Molly Moon, how are you? Yeah, they are. They took me quite some time to make. I have a bunch of stories I have done up. I've done Flo Barnett. I've done Kyle Brennan. I've done Lisa McPherson because she's an important one, I do think. I do one sign there for the victimshavevoices.com, which has on it survivor stories and support resources and legal help available to report abuses of Scientology. And the main abuses that would be child abuse, elder abuse, financial fraud, forced labour, and ID theft. And then we have Eddie Perkins, Kaja Bala, and we have Philip Gale and Nora Lockett. And I think that just gives a good glimpse of why Scientology is dangerous to both Scientologists themselves and to their family members. And I also want to do, because I can create more posters and put them on the back of these and then decide to flip them. I do want to do something like that for the current court cases going on at the moment. There are some more recent cases. And we have all the known Scientology cult countries there. And on this one, then we have Scientology is a dangerous cult. And I've done it in Russian, Ukrainian, Romanian, Polish, Hindi, and Chinese are the languages I have. To have another language there, I'm not sure which is which. I've forgotten. I should put a letter against each of these languages so I know myself which is which. And then in the bottom there I have on it then is to Google Operation Snow White, Operation Freakout, Lisa McPherson, Kyle Brennan, Philip Gale, Kaja Bala, Ellie Perkins, Flo Barnett, and Nora Lockett. And I do see, I know the signs are effective because I do see people walking by. They do stop. Some of them have stopped to take a picture of the signs to spread onto social media. Others have stopped to read some of the signs. You'll see some of the cars will slow down to have a bit of a read as well. So I know the signs are effective. Just a bugger getting them out here, but you're particularly when you're commuting by bus and you have two buses to get here. Buses, Molly Moon, buses. Buses is my mode of transport. I have my backpack there on my back, and I have a A1 artist portfolio bag that I sling over my shoulder for my signs. So it's a nuisance when the bus is full because it's awkward to stand with this lot when you're standing on the bus and there's no seat available. It's even awkward enough to sit on the bus with these. We're trying to prop up me A1 sign on its side, my A1 bag on the side without tripping over any of the other fellow passengers trying to get on and off the bus. Our antics is driving home from the beach. Thanks very much, Susan. I do like the high vis and the different colours. And the reason I went for the high vis colours on my posters and not say just normal black and white is when I was thinking, when I was trying to work out what might be effective here, the approach I took was I watched loads of different protests on YouTube, stuff I didn't know anything about because I wanted to see what will catch my eye, something I knew nothing about, what will cause me to stop and think, why are they protesting and maybe look into further. And to me, it was people I seen with the high vis homemade signs, they're the ones that caught my eye rather than the sleek black and white ones. And then I also have the high vis on because that makes it blatantly obvious. I'm not promoting anything for Scientology. I'm obviously against Scientology. And then it does any Scientologist passing by, it does catch their eye as well. They can't fail but not notice me. And that in itself is doing me work for me. Hey Billy Elliot, how are you? Sophie is saying no, it's a German rite of passage in her generation, aka an acoustic hostage situation, romanticised as tradition. It's inevitably played at the village parties and you just keep dancing regardless. Sort of like Scotland with the bagpipes. And then I suppose we sort of have it here with our flutes and tin whistles. And of course we have Jojo Banana's lovely music to keep us company here. I think this is one that Miriam put together herself and I think it's fantastic. I do love this particular song, Who Is Paying You? Because when you think about it, who is paying me, lads? I've gotten no checks from Big Pharma. I work Monday to Friday, so I guess in a way, fuck it's me. I'm paying me to be here. 107 days Cathy's been off the smoke. Oh, fantastic, Cathy. Absolutely fantastic. Yeah, I do need to. Yeah, you do suggest that to me, Billy Ellis. I think that's a fantastic idea. A QR code to link to my YouTube channel. That would be good because people do stop to take pictures. If I did have the QR code, yeah, that would be a good idea. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll have to prioritise that for next week. See, it's finding the time, lads, because I do work Monday to Friday. I mod for a bunch of channels as well. And then to try and find the time to come out here to protest. Like today, Normally I'd be out around the 2 o'clock mark, two half two. Today it was 4 o'clock before I could get out here. It's just fucking time, lads. It's I don't know why it's that the older you get, your week seems to fly by so much quicker. That you just seem to have time to do. Look, you can like I write a to-do list at the start of my week. The end of the week is more like a not hope and hell list. But yeah, I do think the QR code is a fantastic idea to do. Because I could do a little sign like stop the abuses one and just place up above the books or have the books even. That in itself would work. Yeah, I'll have to remember that now. Oh, thanks very much, Jennifer. If you wouldn't be, y'all be so kind to like the stream, subscribe to my channel, and share with all your wonderful mates. Hey, Charles Boston. We are outside the Dublin org of the cult of Scientology. Oh, that was fantastic. The undercover reporter for the Times in the UK going undercover in Scotland. Do you know what is a shame? That with Amir was in there for a couple of years. He's only recently left. He went to the police in Scotland, told them about the working conditions, told them about the underage children working in there, aka volunteering. And yet there's nothing the police can do in that. I don't know have they come out and said they haven't broken any laws, but definitely they haven't committed any offences that are worthy of prosecuting. There is, I think, if you look at I'll have to share on my community post later. The Times do have a YouTube channel where they did read through, where they did another lady reporter talked to the bloke reporter that went undercover, and they had a chat about his findings in there. I'll add a link into that later. Oops, what am I doing? These goddamn sausage fingers! Oh no! Oh shit! How do I put it back? Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Hang on, maybe. Phew. I wasn't sure if me doing that was going to lose the stream altogether. Like these mobile devices are too sensitive. It zooms in and out and things when I don't want it to. Oh yeah, the AI forget for and how. Ah, fantastic. I do think that's a fantastic idea, Billy. Yeah, and it would make for a great conversation starter for sure. It would. Sophia is saying, "Why do you think we drink around 10 shots usually? It's medicinal water to tolerate the music. It's medicinal water to tolerate the music choices that can be categorized as questionable if we're gracious." Yeah, that reminds me in our student days, we go out for an all night sesh. When we would get kicked out of the late night pub, we come home and we'd watch the most horrific B rated movies, as in the movies that was made for TV. And even at that, where they ever aired on TV is questionable. They're the most low budget crappy movies, but somehow when you're drunk, they're hilariously funny. And of course, we do have our 3 books with us today. We have, yeah, if you haven't already, or you are looking for a gift to buy someone, highly recommend checking out Robert Dam's The Dark Hotels and Scientology Children, which is available in English. It's on Amazon. And then we have JB Mustard's book, Child X, is another good one. That's available on Amazon. What's also available in some bookshops. Barnes and Noble, I think it is in the States. And also is a fantastic book which I think everybody should be reading is Dr. Stephen Hassan's book, Combating Cult Mind Control. That's another fantastic book to be reading because that will give you a Stephen Hassan's book will give you a fantastic understanding of why Scientology isn't just a cult; it's a harmful, dangerous cult. And there's also he does break it down, and you'll start to see the parallels between an abusive relationship and with the cult mentality of how there's a shockingly a lot of, well maybe not shockingly, but there's a lot of similarities. So if we here is saying Ireland and Germany are not that different culturally. Absolutely they're not, Sophia. I have to say my autistic brain is probably more suited to the Germans in that Germans tend to be more they're more straightforward and logically minded. That they say what they mean, if you know what I mean. So I do hope anyone that is considering doing a free personality test or popping in to do a free course or to go in for a free tour or watch a crappy Dianetics film. I hope anyone that is thinking about that do pass by and see my signage and maybe reconsider walking harmlessly into the cult. Because that's one thing the cult is very good at. They're very good at love bombing, which in itself is cult tactic 101. And Stephen Hassan describes it in his book of how they do use the love bombing technique to lull you into a false sense of security and friendship. Hey, Style, how are you? We're here outside the Dublin org of the cult of Scientology. And the cult here fears this lovely face. They fear this lovely face in our high vis gear so much that they have the green meshes back up. Like that only makes them look absolutely ridiculous on a global scale. All because they don't want their members, the few members they do have in there doing courses and the staff members, I'm looking out and seeing me. Like, how goofy is that? It's absolutely ridiculous. But I think even that in itself, the cult members in there seeing the green mesh back up, that in itself surely must be setting off alarm bells in their head of, hang on there, why do we have that green mesh up again? So anything that helps the current Scientologists to think for themselves is a good thing. So whether they see me or my signage, they'll see the green mesh up there. So regardless of whether they can see me or the green mesh is up there, it's the same difference, called you failed. It's all helping to plant seeds of doubt into your current victims. But I will have to go back over. I'm shit at making shorts, but I will have to try and find that clip where I was talking to the. If you guys remember that 17-year-old Scientologist that came up to the fence to talk to me last year and got very upset with me. Nice to get the beeps of the horn. He got very upset with me and wanted to know why I was calling his religion a cult. You remember that guy? He came by today, passed by me signage, and he said to me, what did he say to me? He said something like, will you cut out that shit? It was something like that, he said. And I said, I thought that is a perfect opportunity. I said, there's no point me trying to convince him of all the harm Scientology does or direct him to Robert Dams or Jamie's book. I thought, you know what, the best approach I can take, which I did, was I showed him Stephen Hassan's book, Combating Cult Mind Control, and I encouraged him to read that book. Read that book for himself. And hopefully he will read it. And maybe, just maybe, that will set the wheels in motion for him to start thinking for himself. Style is saying, thanks, Jen, still dealing with other health issues. And Satan's where I feel well now on pooping from RP. This is what I hate. This is the one thing I do hate about Big Pharma is, and I know I kind of understand why they do it because the medical profession understand these words, but I don't. I can't pronounce these fucking words. I can't pronounce the names of these medicines whatsoever. Oh, style, have I showed you? Roger is looking very stylish. He wants Miss Cabbage to see his new outfit. Looking very dapper in a purpley outfit. His little pocket and the trim of his dungarees there and done in a nice lime green. And I do want to make him a pair of boots, which I'm thinking a neon orange colour for his boots. And then it'll have to be something like a cream or a white colour, I think, for his t-shirt. Would need to be a light colour, I think. We haven't had that many walkers out today, which kind of makes sense. It is a little bit on the cool side here today. We are getting a nice trickle of cars, and that guy just passing by, I did see him having a quick look at me signage, which is good. That is fantastic, lads. I'm just keeping an eye on the drivers here. The drivers going by are having a squint across at my signage, and that in itself is helping the plant seeds to wonder why is that lady out with high vis signage protesting against Scientology. So that in itself, you know what, the signs themselves really are doing all the work for me. Like, geez, I could nearly bugger off to the pub there and leave me signs here to do all the work for me or Roger. But would I trust the cult not to kidnap Roger on me if I was to leave him? And I couldn't leave him. Ah, thanks very much, Style. Roger is looking very handsome and dapper. But he does need a pair of, I need to make him a stylish pair of boots. And maybe a wee t-shirt to go with it as well. Oh, there's a Gardaí. All the lights on there. I wonder, heading towards town, I guess. 25. That's relatively new. That's a car from last year. But that's the Gardaí coming from that way. Just trying to think what's his Garda station? What Garda station are they coming from? Let me get myself a drink of water there to hydrate. Thanks very much. I got the thumbs up from a passenger and a beep of the horn from a passing motor, which is fantastic to see. Hey, Big Chief, absolutely style. I think maybe now, I think it most definitely is worthwhile. It's another way of helping to spread the message and awareness of the dangers of cult of Scientology. And you just never know. You never know who might see these signs as well. And maybe eventually we can muster up some local support to try and curtail some of the community events that the Scientology has gotten themselves ingrained in. And that is what I'd love to do. And we can get the Irish dance and the gymnastics and the local sports teams that use the cult premises. I don't know quite how we can tackle that though. When the cult premises is offering when they're offering their space free of charge for very little money, how can you combat that? Do you know what I mean? Because they need to hold their dance in summer. They need somewhere to play their soccer. You know, if any other venue available to them is charging more money, you can understand why they are here. And maybe that in itself, maybe it's not a question of me trying to work out a way of encouraging them not to hold their events here. Maybe it's a way of making sure that they all do know how dangerous Scientology is, and they don't find themselves when they grow up to be adults or popping in to do a free personality test or doing a free course or even volunteering to work for the cult for free. That's something to work out and to see. I'll explore what avenues are available to me to see what I can do. Oh, there's someone flying by on a scooter. Guy in the scooter giving me the thumbs up there. It's a little bit on the cooler side today, which is good because last weekend it was absolutely too warm for me out here. That's for sure. That signage is holding good. Definitely was the better idea to put the tacky that bit lower down on them and have them closer to wall is definitely helping to keep them better. Oh, cool. Good night, Matt, and have sweet dreams. Matt is asked to get vertical for a bit of sleep. In Australia, it's already, sure, Mad is in the future. It's already Monday, I think, for Mad. Emma says if the kidnapper, she will make the react. Oh, I'd well believe it, Sophie. I'd well believe it. Absolutely, style. Absolutely, we are so lucky that we do have medical care available to us and the pharmaceuticals. Absolutely, I'd well believe Emma doesn't kid around. Absolutely, she'd be the like what did Liam Neeson say in that film? Oh, what was that his famous quote? If I will find you, that he has the skills and the capabilities. I just don't know how they get away with it in today's world. Like how is anyone buying their truth about drugs or the drug free world nonsense in today's world when we know so much about the good that the pharmaceuticals are good. Now I suppose it depends though, but if you believe in, let me think about this. If you believe in past lives, that we've all, and this is what Scientology teaches, after you're paid, I don't know how many hundreds of thousands of pounds to do the course and all the thing, that you find out that we're eternal beings inhabiting these meat bodies. We've all lived billions of years before, and we live for trillions more. So what does it matter what your physical ailments are as such in this lifetime? So yeah, if you do buy into that notion of past and future lives, I suppose it's that bit easier to convince people that they don't need medical care. You just have a defective body in this lifetime, and don't worry, you can drop your body, and in the next lifetime, just be more choosy which body you pick to inhabit. And I certainly know, style, how useful the various medication was for me mum in her last few months of life, of making her life that bit more comfortable. Okay, you could argue and say it wasn't a cure, because there was no cure for the former cancer she had, but certainly made her last few months that bit more comfortable. So I'm grateful for Big Pharma, that's for sure. So fuck the cult and their drug free world. Fuck that for bullshit. see. Go back to. Yeah, we're back to. I can see through the fence there. We're back to 5 cars in the front car park, which is that's the normal number we see out here at the weekend. So that was just whatever that function was they had on here this afternoon. It looked to me, based on the bits I could see, I'd be thinking it was a family function in there that a Scientologist had. Oh yeah, you're right. Dial OTH, you find all the years and hundreds of thousands of dollars is a joke. There are no body Satans. It was just made up. Absolutely, no wonder people do jump off buildings. Absolutely. And it's like, which one is it? This is absolutely ridiculous and shows the harm even in just doing the free personality test. Kaja Bala, a Norwegian university student, died by suicide in Nice, France, just hours after completing the Scientology personality test. According to friends, she was in excellent spirits beforehand, but her mood shifted drastically after receiving high negative results describing her as depressed, irresponsive, irresponsible, and hypercritical. She jumped from her fourth floor dormitory window later that afternoon. She received a negative result from the 200 questions from the cult. Apparently, She had missed 100 points on it, which they deemed her to be unstable with a very limited IQ. So you can see and understand why someone might think that their life was absolutely, completely worthless and there is no point living it when the cult is trying to tell you how bad your life is and how you need to find loads of money to do all these courses. So that in itself, that just shows you how harmful the cult is. Here's another one that shows you again how harmful the fucking cult is. On the 11th of May in 1990, Noah Lockett, a 24-year-old American Russian studies student, died by suicide by jumping from 10th floor hotel window in Manhattan, New York. Over a brief period, Lockett had paid more than $5,000 for a Scientology course in counselling. Bearing in mind he's a 24-year-old student, $5,000, that would be money he doesn't have. When his body was recovered, he was found clutching $171 in cash, which, as Paris noted, was virtually the only money he had left after being systematically drained of his assets by the evil cult. Family and friends reported that Lockett's behaviour altered drastically after entering the Dianetics Centre. He developed severe delusions, claiming his Scientology mentors were telepathic and could read minds. When his father had a massive heart attack, Noah insisted that it was purely psychosomatic. So that in itself, and that was where he paid more than 5,000 Scientology courses. So he wouldn't have progressed too far in Scientology, and already that's the effect it had on him. So rather than them saying that it's Big Pharma and the psychiatrists that are detrimental to people's mental health, it's Scientology that are the detrimental ones. Antics is home are fantastic. Well, it kind of makes sense that the way Tori describes it, she says, if you watch Tori Magoo on YouTube, the way Tori describes it, she reached was OT7 and her ex-husband is OT8. But Tori will tell you she hasn't met one single OT8 in Scientology who are anyway living their best lives. That they're all pretty much in a nutshell, they're pretty damn incompetent. So that in itself kind of shows OT8 is not exactly working for folks. The only people you could say Scientology does work for are for the natural born con men like Grant Cardone with his 10 boy, is his 10x scheme, Like that is fucking scam 101. So you can sort of see why he would think Scientology is a good thing. Because Scientology, from what I can see, is anyone that succeeds in Scientology are themselves seems to be either a narcissist by nature or that they have the makings of a can man themselves. That's just my take on it based on what I've observed over the years. And they're just a few that do succeed in Scientology. The vast 99% of Scientologists do not flourish in Scientology. They're not living anywhere near the best lives. They're living in fucking poverty, lads. Working all hours under the sun. They're either donating their time free of charge, donating their time for free to work in Scientology premises, or they're working flat out full time to pay for the overpriced courses that do them absolutely no good. Absolutely, antics. Tom Cruise's staff is all free labour. Absolutely, it is. That is something we badly need to try and do is get rid of Scientology's tax-free status. Without their tax-free status in America or Australia, this empire will come crumbling down. Without the tax-free, they'd be buggered. There's no way they'd be able to pay their taxes when they're struggling to pay their property taxes as it is. We definitely need to get rid of their tax-free status. Just get a drink of water there. As Nyla is saying, Scientology hasn't shown a single clear with powers to control mind, matter, space, and time, etc. So if they could reverse climate change for us all, absolutely. They can't even control their own fucking bodies. There's way too many of the OTs and Scientologists in general of dying from conditions that could probably very easily be treated. You think of Kirstie Alley, she only found out she had cancer when she was in stage 4. She would have been in a hell of a lot of pain well before she took any medical assistance. And no doubt these fuckers that Scientology would have had her doing all sorts of courses and auditing, maybe even a cure for two, in lieu of seeking medical help. Poor Lisa McPherson was denied medical assistance when she badly needed it. We'll just quickly go through Lisa's story here. Lisa McPherson, February the 10th, 1959 to December the 5th, 95, which isn't really that long ago when you think about it. You know, we're not talking about the dark ages here. We're talking about when 95 is back when we were still civilized human beings, or at least most of us are civilized human beings anyway. Lisa McPherson was an American Scientologist who died in the care. Actually, I could probably pause the music. Let me just pause the music first. Lisa McPherson was an American Scientologist who died in the care of the Church of Scientology in Clearwater, Florida, after a minor traffic accident where McPherson seemed unharmed. She removed her clothes in the street and paramedics transported her to a local hospital. In order to avoid psychiatric intervention, local Scientologists convinced her to leave the hospital and seek care at the nearby Church of Scientology. At the nearby Church of Scientology, Flag Service Organization, FSO. And we can guess why she did remove her clothes. That was a call for help. She knew she needed help. She was trying to get herself into the help of some sort of psychiatric care. And yet, The Scientologist convinced her to go back to the church, where she was held against her will for 17 days and subjected to their introspection rundown, which is designed to handle severe mental breakdowns. Well, it doesn't fucking handle them, it only makes them worse. I'd be highly surprised if the introspection rundown has helped anyone with a mental breakdown. Without any proper medical care, her physical and mental condition rapidly deteriorated, and she died following the following the report by the state medical examiner that indicated that McPherson was a victim of negligent homicide. FSO was indicted on 2 felony charges: abuse and or neglect of a disabled adult and practicing medicine without a license. Them 2 charges make perfect sense to me, and they should have been convicted and in prison for them. The charges, this is where it gets very, very iffy. And this is a common theme you see with these sort of cases with the cult. The charges were later the charges were later dropped after the state's medical examiner changed the death from undetermined to an accident on June the 13th and 2020. So that is 4.5 years after her death. A civil suit bought, and this is where it gets even more interesting. A civil suit brought by McPherson's family was settled on May the 28th in 2024. The cult settled. They knew they had fucking done wrong. And have they looked at their doctrine and decided, oh, these bits are fucking harmful, we better clean up after. Maybe we shouldn't do introspection rundowns anymore. Maybe maybe we are trying to help people, but we're only making things worse and we're breaking people. If only they were possible to do some sort of reforms, which we know they're not. They're locked in and they have to follow the word of LRH to the letter. Absolutely, Sophia. They'd rather have the people die than leave, unfortunately. Yeah, if you think of Mike Brown's mum, Rosemary Chiswick, she nearly died at the hands of the cult. And that instead of encouraging her where she needed proper medical help, they defrauded her of her, what do you call it? Your state pension when you retire. Your state pension when you retire. They defrauded her that money to do fucking courses under the guise that, oh, you do these courses, your health will magically get better. Heal your mind and your body will magically be cured nonsense. Worse than fucking pseudoscience. But I guess in a way it sort of is pseudoscience without the science bit. It's all just pseudo mumbo jumbo. Absolutely, Sophie. It is why they keep getting away with it. And we have 4 or 5 cases in litigation at the moment. We have Leah Remini, we have Chris Lee Bixler, we have Jane Doe, we have, what's the other two? Do. We have Valerie Haney. So I do hope, now this is where I'm conflicted. I understand why people settle when they get harassed to the nth degree. And when your pets mysteriously die, and you kind of know the cult did it, but not so easy to prove definitively that he did do it. I can understand why people do settle out of court. But I do hope none of these current cases settle. I hope it goes to the hilt and Scientology are found guilty. Can I give you my card? Oh no, it's just to help spread awareness. Just so that that's my YouTube channel there. It's more that anyone thinking of going in to do a free personality test or do a free course, just so that they're aware that is a harmful cult because they do appear to be a very friendly, benign group.
But you're all like every abuser is going to be friendly to you.
Well, exactly, but you don't like we're being friendly now. We're being friendly now, just chatting. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but you're not telling me him.
No, but it doesn't come across as initially they're not selling you
No,
anything.
but that's
Initially they
but
give you
that's
something for free that they look like that they're trying to help you.
no. I know, but what I'm saying is the best. Like when something is free, you're the product.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like so, you don't need to like hard. Like that's the hard sell. But people turn around and says, "Well, I didn't realize that I was being scammed." Like the scammer sounded so nice.
Yeah, because
It was my
because
friend.
by default we have a trusting nature.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It's not like they call it social engineering, and these guys would be pretty good at it.
Oh, they do, and it's the same sort of tactics that the call center scams make as well. Everything is to do with the surge, there's urgency, oh, come on in. You can't wait till another day, it has to be now, kind of thing.
It's,
I like my fear is the way they
what
do
do they have?
the.
I cycle up every Sunday to visit my mum's grave. Like, I'm always amazed. Some days it used to
Some
be,
days they do because they have the way because they
and then they
can't,
then
can't,
they put this up so you can't. That's all. That's so you
they
can't see
put that
in.
up, yeah, you can't see it, and then nobody can see it and can look out to be questioned and then say, why I'd be here. So it's a two-way thing. But because they can't, they try to infiltrate the school system with their programs. That failed in the early days. So now what they do target is they target the local community groups where they'll offer the use of the premises for very little
Yeah, I
money.
know. It's kind of.
Say to the Irish dancing
Yeah, I seen the dancing and
and the
also the
gymnastics.
parking
And
was
then
chaos
there's
here. They had the cycle lane all blocked off.
and then there's some new Indian promoters I've set up here where they'll do the Indian cultural events, they'll do some of the concerts and that kind of thing.
Yeah,
They
I know
get
they
they
set it
get
up. Yeah, because I mean, like the whole thing about that, it was called the community center. It was they had it, and then and you're kind of thinking like, God, that's just so smarmy, like.
see, it's easier for us to understand because English is our native language. But if English is your second or third language,
Aye.
and you see this place, like for us, we know what a church would look like. It definitely isn't a fucking somewhere that looks like a corporate building.
Well,
We expect a church to look a certain way, shall we say?
yeah,
Do
well, I'm not
you
going
know
to
what I
agree
mean?
with you there. Like, I don't want to.
No, but
I'm not going to agree with you there because like there's lots of like churches like Baptist churches and all like that.
oh, they are. But that is where
In
I
the city
didn't.
centre, and they're not in traditional churches. They're just using buildings because that's the only building they've
Oh,
got
oh,
there.
oh, I know they are, but I'd look at Baptist church and I stop and think, is that our culture? Is that a church? I'm just saying, me personally.
Yeah, but you know what I
And
mean.
but I know that Baptist that is
Yeah,
a authentic religion.
but what we.
But what I'm trying to say is that we're more familiar with what a Catholic and Protestant churches look like.
Yeah, the only thing that
Where
baffles
I'd
me about.
say the foreigners like the Hindis, the Indians,
Yeah, I know.
they
Well,
don't, that they don't.
yeah, but I'm going to say because they're very. Some of like those people slag off the Indians in some ways, but they're very. You have some of them where they're very devout, and like whatever about in Ireland they come across where they're a Catholic country, and most people, including myself, don't go to church regularly, and but we're still considered a Catholic country. Whereas if you go over to India, and you have the Hindu and all the different the turnaround and says is that they're. I mean, if you ever go over to Birmingham, like it's almost like you see the biggest shaped temples, like
Oh,
so
their
they're
temples are impressive.
but what I mean is that they might think because English is not their first language, the same. But I'd say take a lot of
Yeah.
it would take a lot of work to convert someone from Hindi or some of those other like
No, but see, this is
Buddhist.
this is this is the thing though. In the early days, they say, "Oh, that they're this is on top of." We don't discourage. We encourage you to still keep your faith. It's 100% compatible with Scientology. Scientology is more of a spiritual thing than a religious thing because the Scientologists they don't have a God that they believe in. But the point I was trying to make is, and I made it very badly, that we kind of expect a church to look a certain way. That we sort of see this place and we'll know Scientology, that's not a church, it's not a community centre either. For an immigrant, say an Indian, he'll see the words church and community centre, he'll take that face value. Do you know
I
what I
mean,
mean? And I made my point very badly, but that's what I was trying to
yeah,
say.
I was saying, so look, I've no bones to pick with you, but like, don't go doing that. That just,
It was a bad, it was
yeah,
a,
because I'm just saying is that
yeah, it was a bad way out. Yeah,
what we believe is
yeah.
a church doesn't necessarily mean that it has to be that way. A church is more a place for people.
And I didn't even, it was,
So a
yeah,
church could be. And years ago they
yeah,
were in fields because there
yeah.
were no buildings for them to go to. Like so, a church is
Yeah, it's a
someplace.
bad example because
Yeah.
that isn't what I
Well,
meant.
like I
That's not
understand.
what I meant at all. It's
Well, like
just
bear in mind, this place is American,
yeah,
right? So it's an American organization. So it's going to look and they'll have the whole thing, and it is a business. So it is, and it's all this thing. It's like the Church of Mormon and all of that. It's going to look. But the thing is that I can't understand with this Church of Scientology. And bear in mind, saying that they're not hiding the fact that
yeah.
they're a church. Like Church of Scientology is in their name.
No,
So
but that's the thing. They're not a church. As you go up
no,
to
but they say what I'm saying is that like
no, that's
they're not trying to con people. But anyway, my point is
no,
saying
but
that
they are conning people by saying they're a church. They only set themselves up as a religion for tax purposes.
I'm saying it's a corporate. But the thing that I can't understand, and for all intents and purposes, they say he's very intelligent, smarter than the average bear. Tom Cruise, I, I can't understand how he's not just in it. Like
Oh no,
he's up high.
he's all the way in it.
Yeah, he's in.
He's
Like
best friends with the leader, current
that's what I
leader.
mean. He's not just in it. He's up.
Well,
He's
he got in his young acting days,
I
and
don't get it.
he firmly believes that they cured his dyslexia.
Yeah.
He firmly believes that. Whereas we kind of know that it's not so much a cure for dyslexia, but there's techniques you can do that can help you to get around that disability.
Yeah, well, you know what I mean? Like they're saying, it's like he's not stupid.
Yeah,
You're kind of wondering, like, how the hell is this? I mean, I'm not trying to run someone that
yeah.
someone is not intelligent. What I'm saying is that he's a very good actor. To be a good actor, you have to have your smarts. So you have somebody that's dim that maybe isn't so bright, and they're going to be absolute fodder for places like this because they're gullible and they're taken in. But Tom Cruise is not gullible.
And that is a common mistake people make. It's not so much that people are dim or lacking. It's that people are highly intelligent and they're looking for more than what is currently in their lives. If you were dim and lacking in the smarts department, more than likely you don't get suckered in by the cult.
Anyway, listen, I better go. All right.
And it's no coincidence that a lot of actors have fallen for the cult. The way that is something that the founder, Rapper Ronald Tubbard, he specifically targeted them because he seen that they had the money and the people that are creative seem to be more susceptible.
Same time you see you explain, you know, you've made a good explanation of it, saying this, but like, I still don't understand how someone like him has gotten like that, has everything going for him. Like, he doesn't need to spend time to be a better person.
But then you have John Travolta the same boat. He gives them the credit for his. Yeah, see it. That is his style. We all know what they think of science. They are probably all in that group that says climate change isn't real. Or do they even acknowledge climate change as being a thing? Maybe that's it. All their OTAs are right now are proactively in a room somewhere trying to control the weather. And maybe they do think they are controlling it. Cathy is saying, Sophia, I know, right? How do they keep getting away with it? Tyler saying they actually sign contracts with small print giving away. That is true, Style, they do. The Scientologists sign contracts with the small print giving away medical power of attorney over Scientology. Most people don't read the paperwork just to sign up for a course. Absolutely, beware, absolutely. Oh, thanks very much, Jen. And enjoy the rest of your day down by the lake. Yeah, it was a good way to put it, Sophie. If it's free or the product, absolutely it is. Yeah, Kelly Preston too, she's another one. She died of cancer as well. And I don't know, I think she might have been another one where she delayed too long before seeking proper medical help. But did she get proper medical help? Or did she fall for some pseudoscience? You know the way they convince people to go over to Mexico to the there's another cop car going into town with these lights on. They're the flashing lights, but they don't have the sirens blaring. Interesting. I wonder why they don't have the sirens blaring. Oh fuck. That's a poor that's a poor lady. Absolutely despicable. I'm not sure how old that lady is. She's definitely she's well past retirement age anyway. She's having a bit of trouble there walking. She's in the golden vest, so she's a staff member. Fucking mongrels. I really hate seeing the kids and the elderly anywhere near the cult. Like, God love her, I wonder if she got far to go. Or maybe she's getting the bus to somewhere. If she's getting the bus from this way, then she's heading out that way. Yeah, 70 or 80, yeah. And this is where I kind of thought I could run over to her and try and talk to her. But I honestly think the best approach is to not to be is to leave them be, if you know what I mean. I don't think there's anything I could say by running up to her and trying to talk to her that would help convince her to leave the cult. I think my best efforts would be it only results in scaring the bejesus out of her, if you know what I mean. So I think that's where sometimes you just all you can do is just it's kind of is just leave them be and just hope that just by seeing me being here and catching a glimpse of my signs, that maybe that in itself will help plant some seeds of doubt. Because I honestly I don't believe there would have been any good to me running up after to try and convince her how harmful this place is. I just hate to see it though. She should be retired and enjoying the last few years of her life. It breaks my heart. Absolutely, Sophie. That's where I reckon that's where you kind of have to make a judgment call and say that, you know, Antics say no that Preston was late stage diagnosis, then tried Scientology methods, then last minute tried the medical, but that would have been absolutely way too late. Cancer needs to be treated early, absolutely it does, to have any hope in hell. And then when you get to stage 4, I think stage 4 then it's your snookered. I don't think anyone recovers from a stage 4 diagnosis. Like that is like stage 4 is end stage. That's when cancer has progressed beyond any possible cure, shall we say. I think the best you can hope for at that stage is that medical intervention can help slow down the progression of the cancer. Absolutely, style, and that is why I took the effort. And that is why I took the effort to make the signs, because I do believe the signs in themselves are the most effective. And where you'll have noticed if you look back over my past videos, how I have progressively improved my signs to make them bigger, where some of the writing is big on them that you can see them further from a distance. The writing of these ones telling the stories is smaller because I thought, it's important to give enough detail to the stories of these folks for people to read close up. But I do think all in all the signage does work. It kind of breaks my heart that there is no way I can proactively help like that lady that passed by here now. All I can do is help maybe plant some seeds of doubt in her. And maybe she won't return to the cult, but we kind of know that she will. Absolutely. Screaming or shouting, chasing after folks serves no useful, well, it serves no useful purpose. The only purpose it serves is if you want to make content for the internet, which we're not out here to make content. We're out here to spread awareness and to try and prevent someone walking innocently in through the front doors of the cult. And now we're approaching 6:30. I should probably think about packing it up. I got a nice beep of the horn there. I'm a passing motorist. There's nothing really to see in there. That's that guy that works in the kitchen is out and about. So all in all, a pretty quiet Sunday out here, lads. We just had one, what did we say it was? That looked like a Scientology family celebration on in there. I'm going to start packing up my signage, I think. Yeah, we'll start packing up my signage because some of which poor suckers have work in the morning. Regardless of what they tell the cult, there is no paychecks from Big Pharma for Irish. For Irish has to work for a living. Oh, there's a cop car going that way with the sirens blaring. Interesting. Let me see. I think I might do this way. Actually, why don't I play some music? Yeah, that's what we should do is play some music. Oh, I think I turned off my speaker. No, my speaker's still on. Very quickly pack it up. Do. It's much quicker to pack away than it is to assemble these to start with. Couple of weeks. Right. Choose the right way for this bag. Oh, we got Roger signs. Thank you, Roger. There. Roger.
No performance, no big slogans, years of seeing things first.
Since our last week of offer. It's important, lads, always make sure you're nicely hydrated. I got everything. I do. Oh. I think I put the under the wrong way. Okay, so click on that way. That looks better. There we go. Oh, there we are now. All nicely packed up. And I do love that my grid attack for outdoor masonry use does what it says on the tin. It doesn't leave any marks behind on the wall. Because we know full well if it did leave any marks, the cult will be up in arms over that, and we want to give them absolutely nothing. We want to give them absolutely nothing that they can complain about. And we'll just walk down here a bit. Ah, thanks very much, lads. I know I keep forgetting to say it, but I do appreciate you all joining me today and keeping me company out here. Because it'd be very lonely if I was out here on my own, but in a way I'm not, because I have you guys out here with me and keeping me company. We fight a clean fight, indeed we do, Antics. Absolutely we do. Nothing but love and compassion with us. Absolutely. Oh, thanks very much, Kathy. What is the, hang on, I want to play with these buttons a bit. Um, looks like it might be better. Actually, I'm going to have another look into this. Because how exactly can the wall be public unless it's a shared? Would this be a shared thing then? That the wall on this side is public, but the wall on the cult side is part of the cult part. I wonder, is that a dividing wall between them? So technically, where the railings is on the cult side. I'm going to have another look into that, but I've been told by numerous sources that the wall is public property and the railings it goes all the way around the cult is part of cult property. Yeah, because you see the public wall goes from just in around there and then that's the end of it. And then the railings then go back down. The railings then beyond all the way around and the property are at ground level. So yeah, it does make sense that that is part of the cult. The railings are. Oh, Frosty Lucky Charms. Oh, that's an American cereal. Swallow sugar, it sounds like. I think it's a 7. It's nice here. It was raining on my way out, but thankfully it stopped raining again. I got off my bus, which is a good thing. Ah, Donna being cheeky. But it did sound like oh, it's not good. You mean to an adult, it's not a good cereal, but to a kid, it is. Eat a box of the Lucky Charms and you're jumping off the ceilings with all the sugar. That kind of a thing. I don't know, Donna. I'm just guessing. It kind of sounded to me like that sounds like something an American would call a cereal. Firehouse fuel, logs are fibre, 6 350, coal is 24 to 40. 20. Just having a wee look at the cost of fuel there, see what the prices are. Oh, Donner's saying it is a cereal. Oh, yeah, okay, yeah. So you have it in Canada too. Not many in the park there today. Sort of makes sense because we are a later time with 20 to 7. It's not especially warm out either. Antics is saying, you want to try a crap American cereal that's worth eating crap. Oh, peanut butter Captain Crunch are the best. Yeah. I'm not sure the Americans know what peanut butter should taste like. To me, peanut butter should be nothing but peanut. 100% peanuts, no oil, no nothing else in it. But when I am over next year, I might have to. I can't knock it until I've tried it, so maybe I will have to try them at least the once. So I just say, no, you have to try some of our cereals. There's so much sugar they'd be forbidden in your. Oh, I'd say so. You're leaping off the fucking walls. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I do too. I do too. I love the higher standards we have this side of the world. Okay. I'm just thinking I'm going to take a wee detour through the Yam Park. So I might bring you guys with me for this. I'm going to take a wee detour. We just want to have a look at something down this way. Yeah, you guys have a different. I think the main difference seems to be in the States is that legally you're able to do anything with food until it's proven to be dangerous. Whereas in Europe and UK, we tend to take a different approach that you need to prove that the food is safe to eat first before you can sell it. Oh, there's too much trickery everywhere in food today, Donna. Like even it's getting increasingly hard to find chocolate that is what I call chocolate. Chocolate should be made of milk solids. It should have cocoa butter in it. It shouldn't have palm sugar or palm oil in it. And ice cream shouldn't have skim milk in it either. It should have full fat milk and cream. And don't get me started on the oh, that's nice. Don't get me oh, somebody did some nice artwork there. I wonder what they were drawing. The real windows on there around the side, they do windows there, and then they have a section there with no windows at all, or not. There's no windows in that section. Unless they're blinds that pull across. Well, it looks like on the outside. You just get an idea of how far back the org does go. Like from the front, you don't get much of a perspective, but from the side, you can kind of see there's a lot of depth to it. Goes back almost into the back of the park here. Donner saying people think there are hundreds of companies in their local grocery store. Absolutely, run by 4 or 6 exactly. And even here, a lot of our products have been ruined by the Americans. No offense, America, but your companies have when they've been brought out by Crafts and what's the other boys? You have Crafts, you have Cadbury's and Nestle, who they got bought out by. It's all 2 or 3 of the big manufacturers, and they've been cutting corners over the years. They've been putting less real ingredients into stuff. And I think when they strip out the real ingredients and replace it with the artificial stuff, they shouldn't be allowed to call it the same thing when it doesn't have the same ingredients that you would have had. Like say Cadbury's dairy milk does not taste the same today as it did 30 years ago. So I don't think they should still be able to call it dairy milk. They should be made call it something else. And even now there's a lot of chocolate they can't even call themselves chocolate anymore. They had to rename themselves as chocolate flavoured because they don't even have the bare minimum amount of cocoa solids in it to classify as chocolate. Like how fucking ridiculous is that? So there's the cut goes right back. But I am wondering, is there any back entrance or exit out of the cult around here? Well, you can see there the fencing is, that's the same steel fencing, goes all the way down into the ground. So I would say my sources are right that that fencing in front is part of cult property. And the wall must be considered a dividing wall, that the public side will be public, and then on the cult side will be part of cult property then. Sophie, now Style is saying, luckily the nutcase nutsack has fired most of our food infectors, but then he eats roadkill. Which is Donna is saying with the pro Canadian movement up here, we have stores trying to hide USA products by putting a fuck beside the price tag. Pick up the product and turn it over and voila. Absolutely you need to go shopping with fresh eyeballs and read every single square foot inch of the labels. to work out where exactly it was produced and what it contains, and does it contain what you'd expect it to. Yeah, so the view's up. Like that's only a thin sliver. That roadway, that pathway in there is wide enough for a car, and that's it. They really have maximised use of the square footage in there for the building. It comes right back down this way. But I'm not seeing any. I'm just trying to work out, is there any gap or exit there for people to come out the back way? I'm not seeing anything logical there. Absolutely, it's a beautiful area here. It's absolutely beautiful. Then over this way, which will back into the park. Well, I can't see. I couldn't see. I know the edge was a bit thin there around the back and parts, but I couldn't see anything that looked like there might be a little gateway that they could open to get through. Now, maybe there is a way to get through, but I certainly couldn't see one. But we kind of get an idea of how big the, like that 750 square foot is the square footage of that premise. You can see the way it really does go back. That's a heck of a lot of course rooms that them guys have. That must be absolutely empty. At least thankfully that nobody can live in them. That is illegal here to have them living in a business premises. Lovely autumn colours we have. Absolutely gorgeous. Donner saying when I was on my plane just before landing, I soon realised why it's called the Isle of Green. Ah, fantastic, isn't it? See, we don't really notice how green it is here until we go away somewhere else, and then we realise, now I know what people are talking about when they say that we are so green here. So that's the perimeter fence, just in there beyond the trees of the court. So that's where they have the little football pitch. Just having an eyeball of the fence there. I'm just seeing, is there any logical gaps or openings or doorways into that fence? I don't see any. So if they do have one, it's nicely camouflaged. Hey, no, where I've just been at the Dublin org of the Cult of Scientology. Did a wee protest there. Now we're just having a bit of a walk around the back of it. Just having a look to see what we can see. Where bits of me. Oh, there's sprinklers on the bit of grass and they're interesting sprinklers. Interesting. I think we're nearly all the way around at this stage. Yeah, it's definitely the same ratings they have all the way around. That's going down to the ground. So I think my sources are right that the railings out the front is definitely called property. Donna is saying, like, people who don't live here in Vancouver, all they hear about us is the damn rain. We don't get as much as we used to, and our land right now is so dry. Also, that's why there's so many wildfires. Fires. Now what we're saying, this is all that's like Texas. That's the green mixed in with dry grass. Oh, interesting. It's the dead end here. We have. I think we're very close Now we do have the hedge road there, but I think if you still go, if we could walk through the hedge up that way, we'd be very close back up onto the roadway by where the cult does have its main building. But I do love this bridge here. An absolutely gorgeous bridge, done in red. And we have the river just down below us there. You guys catch a glimpse of, yeah, you can see the river there among all the greenery. That's the river Dobber we have there. Oh yeah, you can hear the water flow down there. Oops. Oh, the gimbal, oh, what's it doing? Whoa, 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 whoa. Doing its own thing. Down there saying a lot of smoke is coming north out of Washington State, US country. Oh, yeah, which is not quite what the dictator himself thinks. Absolutely. A lovely river. Like, what a beautiful sight. And just to think, when did the cult members ever get a chance to come out and enjoy all this beauty? Like, wouldn't this be a fantastic place to come out and have your sandwiches? It could really be a nice area to live in, to be sure. And of course, with more housing estates than over there. And this will bring us back up onto the roadway. And there in front of us, so you can get a view of the Dublin Mountains there. Surrounded by the Dublin Mountains here, so we are. Just going to put down, hang on, let's go up to the bench. I just want to put a bit of charge into my phone. I just want to make sure it doesn't die on me. It's showing as low battery. And I prefer it doesn't just die while I'm still alive, because I don't want to give you all a fright by the life suddenly disappearing. I think if I use this cable, it should charge from the gimbal. Oops. 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 Sorry lads, my sausage fingers I play there. Where's the thing? There it is. Okay, it's charging my phone, that's good. I want to get a drink of water while I have my bag off me. I do love this time of day here. At this time of year, because it is absolutely lovely. It's still bright enough. Still bright enough, but the weather is nice and gets to be nice and cool of an evening. I'm not zoomed in there, my antics. It's a pineapple and a blueberry and pineapple guava mango right now, and raspberry good. Oh, that sounds delicious. Oh, it really does sound absolutely delicious. Like, what a lovely area to be living in, really. If we forget about the coast just up yonder there, it really is a gorgeous area. Look at the housing estates around. Conversation, yes, berry picking. Without a car, it's a royal pay. Ah, absolutely. Getting anywhere without a car is an absolute nightmare. Antics will say she's supposed to be checking out the peaches in the farmer's market today. Oh, fantastic. Farmer's markets are absolutely fabulous. It really is a lovely spot. Oh, Antics is making peach jam and barbecue sauce. Oh no, poor Antics is bedbound. Yeah, you need to take proper care of yourself, Antics. You need to rest up. Donna's saying don't pick berries near roads or railway tracks. Absolutely not. And always wash the berries before you eat them. Well, there's a little pathway down there we could have went along. But then you have a little bit of a up it there. I'll use the pedestrianised path, is easier. Oh, we're getting a lovely view of the mountains here. Lovely view of the mountains. One of these days I'll go for a trek up the mountains. But I'll need to convince someone to go with me. I'm definitely not foolish enough to go trekking in the mountains alone. There you go, Antics. Even Emma is insisting that you rest properly. Okay, I can see the Dublin bus there, so we know we're near the roadway again. Sometimes when I'm walking around this way, I kind of think, have I gone badly wrong somewhere? I always like the encouragement of seeing a roadway with some of the Dublin buses on it, just for reassurance. Not that I could possibly get lost out here, but sometimes you start to doubt yourself. Cathy is just saying, just talk to her brother for the first time. Oh, fantastic. For the first time since the stroke, his voice has come back. Oh, fantastic news, Cathy. Absolutely fantastic. That is great to hear. Style is saying, down there saying we're cornfields along the roadside. I think it's probably true for anything along the roadside is to be very cautious about. And there were more houses all the way along. So I'd say none of these at all want to be next door to a cult. Absolutely not. Oh, I'd say you are, Cathy. That is absolutely phenomenal news. I think this is going to bring me back to where I started my walk today, is it? Where I started my journey. That's good. That means then I can get a bus up this way if I am where I think I am. I love that I can hear the stream and the just down below. So the stream is down below where those trees are. I can hear the movement of it. What is that? When we get to Dipper. The dipper is an iconic bird species along the River Dobber. So he's a dipper. The Dobber Valley Park Nature Trail. And there we have around. Oh, so that's what the purple flowers are. There's knapweed, oxeye daisies, and wild carrot. Nice. Yeah, that's what it says he's called. He's calling them the dipper. Oops. The dipper is an iconic bird species. along the River Dobber. I'm going to Google that to make sure that the dipper is what is universally known as, not just what we locally call a dipper. Also, dipper is the actual real name for it. So it means the stream is fairly clean. Absolutely is. Anytime I've looked, gotten closer to the stream, it does look to me to be clear. Oh, it's cool, the path goes around this way. So that's a good sign that we don't have our water polluted. Oh, that's pretty cool. We got some tennis courts. We got some tennis courts up that way. That's nice. Let's go around this way. I think we might have a waterfall here somewhere as well. I might make my walk longer going around this way. Do you know what the heck? It's not going to get dark for a while yet. The weather is nice. And sure, work tomorrow, that to me sounds like tomorrow's problem. Right here, right now, I'm enjoying a nice walk in nature. So tomorrow can sort itself out. Absolutely. Today is it, Sophia, when you're enjoying the walk in nature, that's where sometimes I think, you know what? It's no fear about lashing rain. It's not going to get dark anytime soon. Where's the rush? I'm just taking me care. I don't end up falling headfirst down into the stream. The stream just below us there. I don't want to go too far because I have all my baggage, and I'm just conscious that I'm clumsy at the best of times. And with this baggage, I don't want to risk accidentally tripping on something and going head first into the stream. Mind you, when we were kids, we would have no bother. As kids, there'd no bother. We would have taken off our shoes or socks and we'd have gone down, tumbling down into that stream, no bother to us. Absolutely, Cathy. Yeah, I think so. It adds balance just to walk in the nature. If you go for walks like this, you kind of realise that what's going on in the outside world doesn't really matter to them. All that matters here and now is nature as Mother Nature intended. There's a lovely stream down there. But I love, you know what, I even love just hearing the sound a stream makes. The sound a running stream makes is priceless. And where the only sound you can hear is me yapping. There's no sound at all from any other human. That does look clean. And I don't know how deep it is. I will find out how far this walkway. Well, it can't go on for too far anyway. That is most definitely clean water. Like that is clean enough to drink. Absolutely it is. Tell you what, if I did live around here, I'd be more than happy to nip out. I'd be more than happy to nip out from work, nip down here to have me lunch. Because you wouldn't even need your mobile phone with your any music or anything. They just quiet, sit there quietly enjoying nature. You know what I mean? This is the way the world should look, not full of our data centres and office blocks and the high-rise buildings. I've actually never been on this particular part of this park before. This is absolutely lovely here. This would be part of my daily walk if I did live in this area. Absolutely, it would be. I'd be doing this walk every day, so I would. And even you could smell the air. Well, you guys can't, but I can smell the air is so fresh and clean here. Absolutely, this is the kind of air you want to be breathing in by the lungful. Imagine growing up around here, lads. Absolutely fabulous. Once you won't get yourself entangled in the cult, that is. Oh, it's just a rock. I thought I'd seen some wildlife down there. Oh, divers said fish found in the river include brown trout, sea trout, lurch, tree spined stickleback, and European eel. Atlantic salmon can also be found in the river's lower course. Oh wow! Absolutely, Sophie. Yeah, there. I fully understand why you would live in near a swamp. Absolutely. Now, the cold, rainy winter day, though, would this be as nice? Do you know what? You probably wouldn't care because with all the trees around, you'd be pretty well sheltered. You probably could come out here in the middle of winter in the rain. I think we're getting close to the roadway again, which is good. So I said, we're wanted not to trust those clear running streams in the Rockies or full of full of Garcia, as in ah, I see what you're saying there. It's like Donna saying the Atlantic Sea salmon has infested everywhere, including here. Just let the people pass there. The Atlantic salmon have infested everywhere, including here. They kill native fish species, and most of the river and Vancouver Island are suffering because of them. They escape out of the ocean net pens. Of course, they'd be an invasive species because they wouldn't have the natural predators not being a native species. Antics is saying, well, it's because you're the love child of Shrek, Sophia. Sophia and also she can live out her witchy ways on the sturge in her backyard. That's living the life. Sophia is living the life, all right. Donna's saying they will kill our Pacific salmon. That is a shame, but I don't know what we can do about that though. That's the cost of progress, I guess. Yeah, I can see the wall at the roadside just above, so we're nearly done. We're nearly through. Wasn't that long after. Oops. Donna's saying, I won't eat them as I'm anti drugs in my fish and refuse to support such an environmental disaster. Good for you, Donna. And that is where we do need to be mindful where our food comes from. And then what you're eating, because the drugs they use, fuck knows what effect that has on us. The drugs and the chemicals and everything else they do. We need to try and eat food more as Mother Nature intended, or more like our ancestors, eh? Oh, there we got a treat here, lads. A lovely treat here. Oh, lovely river fall. Really is beautiful. You know what? That bit of a detour was absolutely well worth even just to catch this sight. Absolutely beautiful it is here. A truly wonderful place to live. We far to walk though to get to the absolutely beautiful that is. I love bridges in general, but to get a little waterfall there as well is an added bonus. Absolutely beautiful. Now, how far are they going to make us to get out onto the roadway? I'm not athletic enough to jump over the fence or jump over the wall there. The younger days no bother to me, but with me slightly older body, no hope in hell. We're down quite a bit, lads. We've come quite a bit around all the same because that's where the pub this way is. We're quite a few bus stops away from the org at this stage. These are nice. Like what lovely things for kids to be playing on. What the possibilities and the fun that you could have in there and that wee sandpit. Yeah, it's my pronunciation, Donna, is a bit iffy, shall we say. There are some words Irish just can't pronounce right. Where's another one of these fellas? Here we have another one of these lads. That's the kind of thing people should be doing with all the tree stumps. What fantastic carving. Now we just ignore the child chalk on it. Doesn't take from the beauty of it. It's absolutely beautiful. Here's a real church now. St. Martin's de Pure's church up that way. Community centre. That's a Hearn's pub that way. They're the same signage we've seen earlier. So from 6:30 to 7:30 the city. So they're encouraging children activities then. Interesting. That's a lovely view of the Dublin Mountains there. Okay, so Old Dawn is up that way. Clifford that way. Fairhouse and Ballyboden is this way. Absolutely. The walls are absolutely lovely here, alright. Much better than the cement walls anyway. That is one heck of a lovely park in there. There's so many different sections to it.
Are you on my stream?
I have, yeah.
I don't take off.
It's on YouTube. I just letting the youngs go past me there with their faster legs. So there's Kills Piper. Kills Piper goes up that way. Have a look at these signage. Oh, Kills Tipper Woods is up that way as well. Interesting. How far before we get to the woods, so I have to look into that. So we got Ballyboden and Fairhouse then is up this way. I have another pub up here now. Oh, not there, the centre shop here. Okay. I know where I am. I know where I am now. Got me bearings. Yes, we really did walk quite a distance in a roundabout way through the park all the same. What a fabulous view. Okay, so this part then is all gone where the centre shopping centre is. It's like a couple go by first. There you go, lovely view. Got the view of the Dublin Mountains there. Surrounded by the Dublin Mountains here, so we are. So I wonder we get the phantom gush of wind. So that does look like a nice place to go for a bite to eat though. The Old Mill Bar and Restaurant. And they do music too. Interesting. Oh, there's a Costa coffee. Nice. This has been very fun. This is the way I think to do it. Do something positive after doing a bit of a protest. Try to create a bit of balance. I think what I'm going to do is I fucking love to. If I went into the pub though, I still have to go home after though is the only thing. You know what I mean? Absolutely surrounded by the Dublin mountains. I'm getting a much better view of the mountains here, so we are. I am with our houses, so go around this way. Here's our house. The farmer. That's one thing you will notice in Ireland. You never need to walk very far before you find yourself a pub. There are plenty more houses around here. And there we have back around with the coast down here now. Do you know, I'm thinking, yeah, I might, yeah, maybe we'll just have a casual stroll by the coast. Oh, Antics is on our fort. Irish coffee. Oh, look, I love one. Absolutely. Antics is on our fort first. You know, I might just swing by the, because it's all the same whether you're getting the bus up this way or down this way. So I might just stroll by the coast and just see, have a look in. Curious to see if there's any sign of anyone taking down the green netting. But you'd imagine they wouldn't be leaving up overnight. And maybe with me being gone. But then would they have the bloke working today, they'd be taking down the green net. There is that though as well. Cathy is two hot coffees, iced coffee. Oh, fantastic, Cathy. You need your coffee. Let's see, what time do you guys have it? You guys are 8 hours behind. That makes oh shit. Makes it 11:30, I think, does it for you guys? It's nearly 7:30 for me. Yeah, that'd be nearly 11:30 then. You guys, and I'm not sure what time Donna has. There we have even more houses. We're surrounded by houses. 11:25, I got Jantics. Oh, so Donna's on the same time zone. That's the link carried that way. I have Pacific time zone. You know what the one I love that I get great amusement out is the one that you guys call Mountain Standard Time, whatever it is. It's like the mountains have their own time zone. Oh yeah, this is where we started off from. Oh well, I think so. Donna lives closer to your schools than what you do. Oh, interesting. Definitely getting my steps in today anyway. If I wake up tomorrow with tired legs, I'll know why. That's enough walking for one day anyway. Okay, the S6 that way, that's going to Tala, which I think we're only 4 or 5 k from Tala here. It's more right to go to Ballycullen Drive. Straight on there, there's Knocklin and McFarnham. And then, of course, we're in Prayer House here. And around the corner, we have the cook. This stretch of road always seems to take me longer than what I think it should, for every reason. I think it's because when I see the bus stop there, I think I'm at the bus stop by default. It's probably why it always seems like a longer stretch of road. What's Cathy saying? Ah, Cathy's in the same time zone as well. They are lovely houses, them ones there. What takes us say like 11 hours from each year when. Oh wow, that is quite a distance. Oh, I see. So they're 3 hours ahead. Also, it'll be 2:30 then for Jen and I had it. All the time zones are confusing. I love the way that these guys have their no event parking sign up. There's a sign on the road there. Oh, that's someone advertising for doing Lucan paving driveways. We're away from Lucan here. So it's mostly the same district. Lucan would be beyond Clondalkin. Yep. Ah, heck it is. California sure is a big state. Absolutely it is. Sometimes in life one regrets one's life choices. And I wonder what madness possessed me to keep on walking. But I'm at the point now where pretty much the same distance keep going forward as to go back. So I keep going forward this way. Now to be fair, I have maybe 5 more minutes of walking to do it, then I'm done. Just more where I'm reaching that point where my body is saying, what the heck are we doing, lads? Sunday is a day of rest. Just a bit of waste ground in there. Pretty, they could easily have done. Absolutely, Helly. How's it going? Keep going forward is absolutely the motto. Oops. Well, there's still the green netting up there anyway. Okay, doke. Celtics, have a lovely nap for yourself. That car is still there. They're always there for every reason. Okay, so we just have
Yeah, she's coming out with us.
the one, the blue navy car, and the silver van. So just the two vehicles left in front. 7:30. It sort of makes sense at this time in the evening. It'd just be the staff members, and anybody in doing courses would surely be gone at this stage. Particularly when they be have work tomorrow. It has been a nice walk. I just wouldn't mind it being over right now, because probably another few minutes of it to do and I'll be done. I bet you I'll wake up tomorrow and I wonder why my legs are a little stiffer than normal from being out here. I do think that was well worth doing that walk though. I won't be doing it every time out here, but I think it's not hard to do it. To do it the once anyway, once or twice. Yeah, I see a couple of people just inside the coast, but I can't tell if they're staff members or not. Absolutely, I do, Cathy, but at least those a few hours will be sitting down though, which is good. Sitting down listening to me music. And just get myself a safe distance away from the coast. And then we'll end the live and I'll make my way home. Well, Roger, absolutely I do. Well, I hope he's in. No, he has to be in my backpack. Because I checked, I didn't leave anything behind me. But we know Roger is safely tucked away. Oh, thanks for the hearts, lads. This has been This has turned out to be a highly enjoyable day. So thank you all for coming along with me and for supporting me. It's much appreciated. I do hope I'm not breathing too heavy. There's another pub. We're surrounded by pubs. Pretty typical though for Ireland. You can't walk very far without stumbling across a pub. Let's get these things. Our house is saying, "Oh, you hope to get to your homeland to your ancestors someday." Oh, fantastic, Ellie. That would be fantastic if you can. Donna saying, "I'm sitting in the sink, scrubbing my barbecue rack. So I want to say goodbye." Oh, cool. Have a great rest of your day, Donna. Thanks for joining us today. I'll go to nearly back at this side of the park. Oh, fair to say, there's a back hat. Fair to say that's been quite an energetic walk. Let's see, where are we? Just even I running maybe another 15 seconds. Just get me another little bit away. Oh, there's a lovely doggy. Yeah, I think this will do us. Oh, of course it's clear. So I'll say goodbye now, lads, and thank you all very much for supporting us and to keep me